Scout huts and doughnuts, naivety and creativity. I dream songs, and the songs I dream are the best but the hardest to capture. My life has been about finding ways to make my songs heard. I've always needed help to do this. Until very recently I sought much better voices than mine to sing for me. This meant I had to write songs with clearly defined melodies, so I was able to put across what I wanted with my limited singing talent. And more importantly, I had to write songs that other people would want to sing. If I was going to write songs, it would be inevitable I would try to make them funny. I've always felt that serious is only for those that can't do funny. I was influenced by the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band and Frank Zappa and the Mothers and even the Barron Knights. I learnt a few chords and the riff to satisfaction on an old Spanish guitar which I probably found in a jumble sale. I had a book of folk songs, and the first song I actually learnt was Michael Row the Boat Ashore, which had 3 chords, D, A7 and E minor. And it must have gone something like, Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Something like that. And I took those 3 chords and made them into something that went a bit like... And I wrote my first song, and possibly you always remember your first song, but I can remember at least 2 of the verses and the spoken middle 8, and it was rather sick. It was called The Mortician. The mortician is so great, cut and see, refrigerate. Never mind about the mess, just quickly find the cause of death. Do the mortician in the cold, slippery, slimy, fun to hold. Don't think it was a waste of life, just get in there with your knife. I'll leave you now, you won't rot away. Your ice-cold flesh can be seen another day. Ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. I was a scout. I joined the movement too late to be a Boy Scout, but we still had woggles. Most of my friends were in the same troop, 6th Eastcote. We had camped together, hiked together, and we started to get into rock music together. The big thing we had going for us was access to a scout hut in the middle of wasteland, on which was being built a new hut. We could make some dangerous noise. Then the father of a friend of mine picked up a Hofner Senator in a jumble sale, and I fell in love with it. My parents bought it off them for my birthday. It had a pickup and I cobbled together an amp from an old record player which I found in a jumble sale. I had some friends, and though 2 of them also had acoustic guitars, one became the singer and the other the bass player. I continued to learn chords and discovered the 3-chord trick, and my second song was something quite unremarkable with G, C and D chords. And the bass player added a bridge by just changing the order of the chords to... And that got the 3-chord trick out of the way for a while. In fact, I didn't write another one until about 3 or 4 years ago. I'd written 2 songs and I decided I need to solo, and I learnt the blues scale in G. This is when I should have been learning strumming patterns and finger picking. And that is why I wrote a song called Keep Your Hands Off My Baby or I Lay My Fist on You. I had learnt the bar chord. And that one. And I'd written this little blues type riff that went... I'm gonna see my baby, gonna take her to a dance tonight. I'm gonna jive and swing and it's gonna be alright. Gonna be good to make
make you move. Gonna play the music to make you move. Keep your hands up, my baby, or I'll lay my fist on you. I'm gonna dress up in all of my best clothes. I'm gonna look so slick from my head to my toes. Gardening boots and shooting hat, I'd wear my tuxedo but I got too fat. Keep your hands up, my baby, or I'll lay my fist on you. Now keep your hands up, my baby, keep your hands up, my baby, keep your hands up, my baby, cause you're driving me crazy. Keep your hands up, my baby, keep your hands up, my baby. I'll kick you in the teeth, and I don't mean maybe. If you like what you see, just leave her alone. She belongs to me, so leave her alone. Keep your hands up, my baby, or I'll lay my fist on you.
To extend my repertoire, I wrote a 12-bar blues in G, which is what you would do, especially if G was your key. It was called Lonely Boy Blues, which is exactly what you would expect it to be. Prog rock was the thing, and several times I failed in my attempt to write complex pieces of music. But mostly I struggled to write lyrical lyrics. I struggle with imagery. I had yet to realise my style is a mix of the literal and jokes. When Lindisfarne were big, I wrote a drinking song about Newcastle Brown Ale. Mostly everything I wrote was overcomplicated. The best bits have since been stripped away and are in songs I still perform today. There were also choruses without verses, lyrics without tunes, and tunes without lyrics, which have all become a starting point for new songs. I rarely start with an empty page. We would buy sheet music albums and play Who, Stones and Beatles songs. A generation before us had started with Johnny B. Good, but for us it was always The Kids Are Alright and Wild Thing. Then I got a primitive mixer and rigged up a reel-to-reel and cassette recorder and recorded backing tracks, which I would get my friends to sing on. In the mid-70s, simple rock songs became popular again. We would go to pub rock gigs and listen to the Flaming Groovies. I found I was much better at the simple than the complex, and so I wrote a song called I Got Crap.
Baby, just leave me alone. I got the old complaint tonight. My legs are all weary of me, and my muscles are clenching up tight. I live my life as a tramp, sleeping in the cold and the damp. You know I'd love you tonight, but baby, I got cramp. Sort of like that.
I worked as a teller in a branch of Barclays Bank in Uxbridge, and a young lady from a cake shop especially came to my till and would always leave me doughnuts. I don't need a doughnut was also an innuendo to me and my friends. And it became a song.
Every day people say I walk around with my eyes shut, but I need a woman, I don't need a donut. People laugh, I hear them say that guy is out of touch, but you know I need loving, I need it so much.
But there was a song that broke the camel's back. I recorded a backing track. I invited plenty of my friends round and none of them wanted to sing it. It was called Mary Went.
The verse would have been in G because everything was in G. I didn't keep notes of this. I think people were glad that I just forgot it. I do remember it was sort of about telepathy. It had lots of puns and jokes in it. And then it had the pre-chorus, which I remember goes something like this. The moon and the stars went where Mary went. Ooh la 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 la, ooh la 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 la. And I always obeyed the messages she sent. Ooh la 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 la, ooh la 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 la. I would always go wherever she wanted me to. But as good girls go, Mary went. Oh, 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 Mary went. Oh, 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 Mary went. You know she went, you know she went, you know she went, you know she went. She went, you know she went, you know she went, you know she went, you know she went. Oh, Mary went. Oh, 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 Mary went.
Then I wrote a song called Break Your Heart, and I was in a series of bands that did real gigs. We owned a PA and a van, and we recorded in studios. We played many of my songs, but we never played Mary Went.